Aiden, another day, another dollar.
Mhm.
Well, welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and having the space, sharing the stories and getting to know the people in the neighborhood and our community. So today I have somebody very special. I know Mr. Carlos for a long time, but I want him to introduce himself and talk about who Carlos is and what did he do. So Carlos, bienvenido, welcome.
Gracias, gracias. Mi nombre es Dr. Carlos Marrero.
Doctor Carlos.
I'm an education consultant and leadership consultant. I do a lot of work with the community and I help small businesses and moderate businesses and big businesses help have their systems talk to each other,
That's
support each
awesome.
other, and continue to grow without sacrificing their selves or anybody else.
You are everywhere. First of all, thank you for taking the time and stopping by over here. I am a true follower. I love what you're doing with the community. I love what you are. I think that you are changing. I mean, you are a business owner, but you are a writer and you are growing. And I love Latinos. I love people who has a story and they are sharing and doing better for the community. So cuéntame un poquito, tell me a little bit, you started, how you got into the company, into your business.
So I started Leo Clinic 14 years ago and sold
Wow.
it in August to a new beautiful family, husband and wife, who is currently running the clinic and continuing my legacy. So continue to service the community. They provide dental, primary care, behavioral health care services, and I thought it was time for me to move forward and support other leaders
Love
in
that.
in leading their businesses and their lives without sacrificing themselves and teaching them how to do that. So
How
that's how it started.
what how you got into start to the start of Leo Clinic. I met you probably 9 years ago.
Yes, yes, yes.
And you have grown
12,
quick.
12 years ago.
12 years. Holy cow.
And you
That's a
still
long
look the
time.
same.
Oh my god. Yay. Thank you. So how you got into starting your own business because you're super young entrepreneur. How you got into the business?
So I started Leo Clinic when I was 19 years old, and
Wow.
I started teaching salsa lessons to the elderly.
No way.
Yeah, so I started teaching salsa lessons to the elderly. I started going to nursing homes. I started assisted livings, and then I started noticing that they didn't have
That's
enough
awesome.
family coming home, come to visit,
Yeah.
and then the ones that did come, they had like mental health struggles and issues like that. So I wanted to support that community. So I started creating groups, after school programs, and groups, mentoring and supporting the agency as much as possible by supporting the people that we help. Um, and I just wanted to help. I was a young Puerto Rican boy that wanted to help the community and give back. But I learned a lot of things throughout that time, and I learned that you can help, right? But you don't have to sacrifice yourself. And I
Yeah.
think so many times we throw ourselves into the fire to make other people warm. And as we continue in our business, as we continue to lead, we want to continue to do that. But we start noticing that there's bits and parts of us that continue to, be hidden, or right, or not being treated or nurtured. So
That's
yeah.
really, yeah, that's very powerful, by the way.
Mhm.
If you think about it, you give so much back and you were so young to be, that you noticed that, the elderly were not taken care of, and that was a long time ago. But, we still have the same issues today.
Absolutely.
Um, what I know that you sold your business to an amazing family because you did mention that before. Um, what exactly is your next step in the 2026? Because I know that you're doing a lot of things, and obviously we're going to see a lot of you, in the next few years. What exactly do you want to do in 2026? Now that that chapter of Leo Clinic is over, do you feel
Yes.
kind of lost because you don't have the business anymore, or you
So
just
at first,
ready?
I was like, what am I gonna do?
Right, when you
Right?
the consistency about doing the
Yeah,
same thing,
yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna make some sofrito at home.
Ah,
Cause
God,
hey,
what about the
wow,
sofrito, man?
but honestly, I throughout that journey, I knew I was going to sell the clinic many years before. So I started writing a book called When Peace Feels Dangerous. And I utilized that time to help me close the chapter of this business and to move forward into a new generation of support and help. So what I did was my book just came out on the 27th of December and on Kindle. So
Congratulations. I'm
yes,
going to put the link here. So go and buy
absolutely.
it.
And on the 27th of January, it'll come out paperback. So for those that like paper and still write notes like me on the side,
I do.
go
And I
ahead.
want mine,
Yeah, I'll
autograph,
sign it.
autografiado, ya tú sabes.
Absolutely,
Oh my
absolutely.
goodness, that's amazing. What got
Yeah.
you, writing a book? One of the things that I'm more scared, and I always thought about it, and I had conversations with all friends of mine, and throughout the years. Sonia, why didn't you write something?
Absolutely.
I don't know how to start.
Yeah.
How you did it throughout the COVID, throughout
Little
the
by
years.
little by little, right? You put the notes on a piece of paper and then you start building your thought. What do you want to help people do?
What
What
I
do you,
would, yeah.
right? So my goal is I learned throughout my leadership is that I people pleased, right? I supported people and pleased and pleased and pleased
That's
and
so bad for
yeah,
us.
yes,
Oh,
in hope that I'll get back the same energy, right? Or
yeah.
I'll continue to, or they'll do better. The organization will continue to surface and provide more support. But then I started noticing that I was killing myself, right? So
Yeah.
there's
Are you
many
doing it for
times.
them or you doing it for you?
Yes,
And you got to
yes,
take care of yourself.
absolutely. So I took that time to teach. In that book, I teach people where I was and all the way to the day that I signed the paperwork and sold the clinic, right? So, in helping them heal and survive their next leadership journey, whether you're a leader at home, whether you're a wife, a husband, a stay at home mom, a CEO, a business entrepreneur, you still matter and you're still a leader of your life. How can we help you lead
That's
without
amazing.
sacrificing yourself?
Yeah. I think, I don't know, I think that my life is still, going in terms about business wise. When
Mhm.
I saw, and when you told me that you sold the business, I was like, that would be, what would I be without Latin? And, offers are there, stay tuned. You never know.
Mhm.
Um, but I wanted to ask you, how was that process? How was that process, mentally for you? But then again, I see you how you're doing right now, and I'm so proud
Yes.
of you because I think that you blooming, you doing something that that I'm not used to see,
Mhm.
and I love that about you, and especially as a Latino, as a man in in our community, that you always been in the back, helping, but now it's
Mhm.
your turn. Enjoy it. I'm so happy for
Absolutely.
you to do it.
Thank you.
And
Thank
hey,
you.
listen, anything that we can actually help you, we're here. But I know that I'm gonna see you and everywhere. So I'm happy to see that
Yes.
new Carlos in 2026.
So for 2026,
Tell us.
my goal is to give back to myself. Right?
Eso.
That's my goal. My goal is to not sacrifice myself for anybody else,
Good.
right? This is my kids and my wife, right? Or but and even that should be proportionate, right?
Yes.
Like they say, when you're on an airplane, you put your mask on first to continue helping other people. So my goal
Good
this year
analogy. Yeah.
is to support and help myself so that I continue to help other people. Whether that's helping leaders, now that's leaders, right? I do a lot of therapy for leaders. I provide treatment for CEOs and entrepreneurs. So they come out to me when they need that help.
Mm.
So that's been very great. Honestly, Sonia doesn't know this, but
Okay.
but about 9 years ago, I opened a no, actually 6 years ago, I opened a sex trafficking treatment dental program, and it was a program specific to the people who have struggled or have been victims to that, where they be provided dental care services, teeth whitening, things that will help lift them up again. And your funding helped create that program, and it was successful for about two
What?
years. Then COVID hit and things like that.
You're
Then
gonna
what?
make me cry.
Yeah, but because of your support and your leadership and your financial backup, you took the vision that I had to support that population and you made it into reality.
That's
And yeah,
amazing. Thank you. You're
absolutely.
sharing this live right now, and I'm like, ooh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's a beautiful
Thank you.
thing.
No, and thank you for giving me the opportunity because we have become friends in the industry and friends
Mhm.
this is what it's all about in the community. Even though that we rally against with each other. Sometimes it's time for people to get together and say, how can I help, or how can I help your business?
Mhm.
So let's enfocarnos en what are you doing right now. So you help businesses, and can you tell us a little bit about the details on everything that you wanted to
Absolutely.
do for them?
Yeah. So right now I help leaders and businesses, whether they're small businesses, mom and pop shops, all the
Hmm.
way to Fortune 500 companies, help with their overall leadership structure. Sometimes, we struggle, right?
Yeah.
Leaders, they don't teach you how to be a leader. You don't grow up learning how to be a leader, right? I always say it's lonely on top, right?
Yes, it is.
Right? You don't have that room to make a mistake, and if you make a mistake, it's all your fault, right? So how can I help you make those mistakes and also get through them, right? So I help leaders with risk management. I help coaching. I coach them through their mistakes or their struggles or how to advance or create their vision, make their vision come to life.
And you do businesses all over US. Obviously,
Absolutely.
internet is available so they can actually
Yes.
reach out to you. And do you do free consultations,
Yep.
in order to
Absolutely. I do a 30-minute consultation for free.
good.
I've been to Egypt, Paris, London, Barcelona, all over Connecticut, Georgia, Florida, and I supported leaders throughout many different structures, many different states and countries. And we all struggle with the same thing, right? There's so many systems, there's so many things. There's always a new thing that we can do, but how can we work on what we have and how can we make them talk to each other again? Right? We don't need five different CRMs. We don't need five
Yeah.
different CPAs or accountants, right? We need systems that can trust and support each other, almost like back then, right? You have a
Yeah.
neighborhood, you walk down the street, you get some help, right? It's giving that cultural feel to supporting your business.
I love that
Yeah.
because you know what? One of the things is true what you said. We make a mistake, we do it, and we're like, okay, we need guidance. It's not like we know it all. We make mistakes as small businesses, and we should, like for example, I acknowledge, sometimes when I'm like, hey, listen, okay, you should have done this better, and the next time, you know what to do. But it will be good to have you thought about starting like a school, like something that is besides your services, online, or do you want to get back to the community, like doing it yourself? Because I'm pretty sure you're going to get with those services, you're going to grow.
Yes,
So
yes. So I do provide a lot of professional developments. I provide a lot of agencies have hired me to do professional developments for their staff. I do teach at the university, so I teach my students the
I
same
like
thing,
that.
right?
Yeah.
So I try to reach the community as much as possible. I'm only on LinkedIn, so if you want to reach out, you can reach out there, and I can support you. And I'm also
I'm gonna introduce you to a lot of people from the community. The
yes,
community, I don't know, I'm tied with the community, and by the way, I missed the community a lot this past year, but I'm coming back for you guys.
welcome.
See, so we definitely, the community is there, and I think that we have so many different, including the communities, the organizations in the community, like they're so far apart, they should do things together, all of them,
Mhm.
and provide all of this. Maybe we got something going.
Let's go.
Like
Come
my
on.
mind is like, okay, let's go, let's do this. But I'm so glad that you're doing what you're doing, and like you said, do you take care of you, because you already done your hard work for the community and for as a man growing and as a business owner. So um give us a few tips in terms about for us to do better, in a soft, development for our business. Then
Absolutely.
algunos like the advices, dale.
Yeah. Let me take out some ice real quick. Let me get a couple of things out. Let's go.
That was a good one.
So honestly, the best thing that we can do, I can't stress it enough. Honestly, you have to plan for contingencies, right? But culturally, we become so anxious, and we have so
Yes.
many traumas and generational traumas that cause us to have these anxieties and these fears, right? Um, I think the biggest thing that we have to do first, the first thing that we have to do is you have to put yourself first, right? And we don't. I'm not asking you to read my book 5,000 times or
I'm
to
gonna read
right.
it
Or I'm not.
today.
I'm not asking you to go on a retreat and spend $1,500 and then be in debt later. No, I'm not saying that.
Call out in financial for that.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
What I'm asking you to do is the small little things that get you to feeling burnt out can be this. You can do small little things to help you reduce burnout. And I also want you to help to understand that burnout and compassion fatigue is normal. It's a normal feeling, and we get there sometimes. But you can also feel better again, right? You can take care of yourself.
Do you think the stress is all the stress that we feel is obviously the internet and the pressure to do better?
Yes, yes. Even women, right?
Yeah.
Women, Latina women, you have that. You have so much pressure, and you pressure yourself, right? And men, we pressure
Yeah.
ourselves. Sometimes we don't support ourselves as men, right? Um, I think sometimes we put the pressure into ourselves. So instead of looking out into society and seeing, what your parents what would have wanted you to do, or what your friends or what culture tells you to do, look at what you want to do for yourself. Look at your goals and see if you're there yet or you're almost there, right? Because anyone has people speaking in the back of their minds, right?
Hmm.
We have these voices that are created based off of our past experiences. So we gotta tell them to shut up, right?
Yeah.
And move forward, right?
Not
And
around here,
no,
not
leave
near
it there,
me. Yes.
right? So I think the first thing that we have to do is find what your goal is. What's your self improvement goal, and how can we do little things day in and day out to get to that goal, and to be nicer to yourself, right? Be be your biggest instead of being your biggest critic. Be your biggest supporter, right?
That is so
Say
true.
nice things to yourself.
You know what? I is maybe you learned that throughout the years of working hard and everything else, but it is through what you say. Telling yourself, um, "I've done good." Today's a good day. I mean, I don't know. It's like piropos. I don't know how to say that word in English. It's like telling yourself beautiful things.
Yes,
So you can
yes.
actually, you know, survive another day. I've been telling myself beautiful things no matter what. Hey, in the morning or at night or throughout. It doesn't have to be early in the morning. It could be at the end of the day. Holy cow. Yesterday I had a really tough day in business. But, and I was telling, somebody else earlier, I got up this morning and it was like, obviously it's a new day, but I told myself, it's okay. You're going to learn from that. What are you going to do to not forget that day because it was bad? Vice versa. I want to remember how I dealt with it. And I gotta pat myself in the back and I did good. It's okay. It's how you react when things like that happen. So to all of you, if you that's one of the reasons that I started to do this little podcast. It's something that it helps me deal with my own demons or my own happiness, and I can show you who I am, but I show you who everybody else is and what they're doing. And I'm learning about everybody. I'm learning about the stories, and holy cow, we got a lot of good people in our community. And I'm gonna be there for everybody, and I can't wait to have amazing other people. And I'm talking, pero ahorita estoy en estas,
It's
estoy en
okay. It's
estas,
okay.
estoy
No.
bien ahí apasionada. So, bueno, gracias. Una cosa, I always tell everybody to say something in Spanish at the end. Yo sé que tú sabes un poquito español, no don't be shy. ¿Qué tú le puedes decir a todos los que estén viendo? Obviously, your information is going to be here, pero danos un preview.
Coge tiempo solo, right? Take your time
Yes.
for yourself.
En
Have
español,
some.
en español. Mm-mm.
We'll stop it right there.
Dale, otra vez, otra vez. Take two.
Coge tiempo solo.
¿Por qué?
Es muy importante para tener ese momento solo y seguir para adelante.
I love that. Carlos, gracias. I know that today has been kind of crazy. My office has been full and a lot of amazing things are happening today. But you here. Thank you for taking the time. to everybody who needs the help, continue their business. I'm going to tag Carlos, reach out to him. He has a lot of different, you know, avenues that he can actually help you. And he's gonna tell you, hey, listen, if it's not me, okay, this is what I can do for you.
Mhm.
So, Carlos, gracias un millón por estar en Financial Podcast. And another day, another dollar. Come on,
Thank you
baby.
so much. Thank
Oh, my
you.
goodness. Bye.